going on YouTube? It's your boy Thomas, and today we're looking at the worst pieces from Supreme Fall Winter 2022. I know, a little controversial, but you gotta have good designs to have bad designs? I think you have to have bad designs to have good designs, is what I was trying to say there. But yeah, anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. Remember guys, I am running a $15 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is subscribe and comment on any one of my videos and you'll be entered to win when I hit 600 subs. As you can already see, first item on the list is pretty much all of the shoulder bags. All of the bags really aren't that great this year. I picked the shoulder bags because at least the backpack has some space you could do something with, but I'm just not overly impressed with the design of these bags. You know, just the Supreme font on them is pretty boring. There doesn't really seem to be anything that's catching my attention or doing anything special. So, you know, really the bags are just not great this year. So that's why they're on the top 10 worst pieces of the season. Next up, we have this 24 karat gold beanie. Now there's nothing wrong with this beanie per se, but it just doesn't feel like a Supreme item. This looks like something you could get at Target, Walmart, really just anywhere that does kind of streetwear-esque clothing. It doesn't say Supreme on it anywhere, which is fine, and some of Supreme's best items don't say Supreme on them. But with the little fur ball beanie on top, it's just not my favorite design. I don't like the look of the lining right there at the bottom, and just the colors aren't really doing it for me. So that's why this beanie is also on the list for the top 10 worst pieces. Now, I didn't mean to do two beanies in a row, which is how I ended up pulling up the pages, but next up we have the Supreme Pillsbury Doughboy. Now, this kind of gave me a kick when I was going through the preview. I like some of the pieces, but the beanie, again, it's just a little bit too much. It's just the way it would look on your head as a full graphic image of the Pillsbury Doughboy. And it's interesting for sure, and I think the collab is funny, but just for a beanie, I don't know if it's the right move, so that's why it's also on the list. Next up, we have the Satin Applique hooded sweatshirt. All my pages somehow are unresponsive, so I can't flip through them for whatever reason, but I just thought this was a pretty lazy design, you know? I love some big appliques, I love embroidery. I think it's some of the coolest designs in fashion can be done with embroidering cool stuff. There we go, there's the other colors. I think this one is just super basic. Now, you know, sometimes people really like designs that are basic. I had kind of a similar looking hoodie in the past. It was fine, but you know, I had to get rid of it because it was just really, I don't know, bland and didn't really fit with my style at the time. So this one's also on the list. All right, next up we have the New York Yankees Kanji Hat. Now, I could be getting some hate from this, but I just really don't like all of the logos on this hat. Again, it's an embroidery. You know, I'm also a guy who fancies himself some Japan culture occasionally, but I just don't really think that the kanji with the different New York Yankees logos looks very good, especially with just, I don't know, the blue is especially terrible. And just the different colors, there's just really too much going on. It's a little bit too busy. So I think it would have been a better design if they just maybe stuck with one logo and one kanji, or even just the kanji up front. I think it would be pretty cool then, but just a little bit too much for my taste. All right, I had to include it. It's the Supreme doll. It's just too creepy, man. I really don't like the way it looks at me. The clothes, the mini clothes is kind of cool, and I do appreciate it, but there's just something about dolls that has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and especially these are like a fashion doll in particular. It's like, who is buying this? And I really don't know. So just too much uncanny valley going on here. I really don't like what's really happening. So the Supreme doll has to be on the list. Next up is probably the most controversial, or like the least offensive item, I guess, on the list. It just doesn't look like a Supreme shirt again. It just says USNY 94 through 22. Obviously Supreme was started in 1994 and it's now 2022. My page is now unresponsive, but we're gonna wait. So, you know, this is not a bad design at all, but it's just a little bit boring and will probably be a little bit too expensive for what it is. So I think it might say Supreme on the hood, which actually does give it some more style points. And, you know, in no way was this like a definitive list. I was just scrolling through the preview and looking at the items that to me seemed the most boring, you know, ugly, or just not desirable. So this one found its way on the list. Oh, my arch nemesis, the Supreme Griffin Anorak. I hope no one bought this yesterday, guys. And I'm crossing my arms because I'm upset. Yeah, I just really don't like the way this looks, and just the colors. The colors are actually pretty good. I'll give it that. Like the yellow, the olive, the black, okay, pretty decent, but just, man, your jacket is already destroyed. It's just not my style, and I know distress is in right now, but I just think it's a little bit too much. And without further ado, without the page responding, we're gonna move on to the next item. 2 left. Next up, we have the multi-type Jacquard denim shirt. Now, all over print can be done well and it can be done poorly. I think this is not really that great. Just something about having the script with the sans serif New York just doesn't look very good in my opinion. The colors too, I think maybe the least offensive is just this regular denim color, but the purple and the orange, it's just not that great. I think this is definitely like, it's not a sleeper piece, it's not low key, it's trying to be loud in your face, but it doesn't do it in a way that's like, oh, this is cool, this is supreme. So maybe this is someone's style, and I could definitely see it being a decent outfit, but in my opinion, I just don't really like the way it looks. And now to the actual worst item on the list. None of this has been ranked. The last final one, guys, is actually the worst item Supreme is releasing this year. And remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed the video. The faux fur zip-up cardigan. What were they thinking with this? I mean, there's a certain level of like your grandpa's style that you could pull this off and it'd be kind of funny, but to a certain level, it's just bad, you know? Like the faux fur on a cardigan with that kind of zip up, it just doesn't look good at all. And especially this brown one, this has to be in the thumbnail, guys. Worst item of the year. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What did I miss on my list? Next, I'm gonna be doing the top 10 sleeper pieces of the week, of the year, I guess. And yeah, just comment down below if you agree. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, peace and butt grease.